go.
Are you ready for an unforgettable experience? Get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's get hype.
Chit. What's going on, Cowboys Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Late Night Hype. We are your hosts, Skywalker Steele, Big Game James, Law Nation. Special guest in the building, Patrick Kahn. What's going on, brother?
All right, man. Not terribly happy right now. Sunday night, damn Eagles.
No.
I think we all agree there, though. I mean, I think everybody's with me on that one. It's the Eagles. It's the one you want. Whether you're on Team Tank, Team Playoff, it doesn't matter. You want to beat the Eagles no matter what.
See, he makes a good point there, y'all. It does
Great
not
point.
matter on what side of the coin you were. Deep down inside, you wanted to beat the Eagles. You know it, man. You know. What's up, Law Nation? What's up, Big Game James? How y'all doing before we get into the chat right quick?
Hey, man, doing good. That beat be rocking.
Which one? The first one?
The first one.
Yeah,
that
that's my shit right there.
I play that beat to make my beard grow, man.
real.
I really do be jamming out to that, just chilling, man. Straight up.
Yeah.
Shout out to
That's a hell of a beat right there, dog.
Indeed. Hey, thank you guys for joining us in the chat so far. Big Pain Gambino, James, Stevie Mac, my guy, B Bird, Annette, aka James Boothang, Natty Ice, Bobby McClain, K2 Force, William G, Don, Glass Giants, Marvel, and Group. Is it Asmodus? Am I saying it right?
Ooh.
Asmodus?
You a good one.
Asmosis? I don't know. RC Cowboys, Hendricks, Thomas, Lorenzo, and the many, many more that will be joining.
Me and Lorenzo chilling in the Benzo.
And Mendoza on the Facebook group.
Yeah,
Y'all
Mendoza on
Mendoza.
Facebook. Yes, sir.
Mendoza.
Hey, man, we got a jam-packed show for you guys with our guy Patrick Kahn. Listen, man, we're going to start with this Cowboys-Eagles game. I think we all got duped. We thought we were going to get this thing at halftime. I know, man. We really did. Really did. But what's your overall thoughts about this game here, Pat?
Man, that was a tough one to swallow, mainly because you were in that game pretty much the whole way. I mean, up until the fumble return pretty much ended any hopes of winning that football game. My big takeaway was, despite how poor Ben DiNucci looked in that game, you're still in that game. And I think it due in large part to the fact, and I'm just going to say it, Carson Wentz as a quarterback is a freaking moron. I mean, there were so many times I'm watching that game. I'm like, there's no way that he's going to hold on to. Oh, he's really going to hold on to that ball and let Wilson just blow him up. Okay, all right.
Careless Carson, Pat.
Yeah, careless Carson. Yeah, I mean, for sure. And my biggest fear and worry was that they were going to put Jalen Hurts in that game because he's the better quarterback. Let's be honest. He's the better quarterback.
Oh, wow.
And so that was my worry in this game, So they put him in, it's over. Dallas is going to win that football game. But it was close. But, so it was rough. It was rough, though. That's where I don't know how else to put that game then other than it was rough.
Well, let's kind of pick up there, James, with DiNucci. Gucci DiNucci. Oh boy,
was stinking.
Ooh, he was not good, James. He was not good. What's your overall thoughts on that?
Oh man, dog. I mean, keep it real. I knew what it was, but I had to live off of something. I needed some kind of hypiness. I needed something to hype us, and that was the best thing that I could roll with was Nucci. That was the best, but man, he was some coaching. Nucci was coaching.
Was that smelly or was it smelling good?
It was smelly fishy. It was real fishy. It was fishy up in there.
It was bad.
No, man. Hey,
goodness, man.
he stunk it up. We talking about fish. He stunk it up. It was like we was in a fish market, dog. I mean, We seen it where he had a touchdown. We was mad at Terence Steele. He still gave up 3 sacks, but we was mad in the very beginning. Like, come on, Steele. And when you look at the tape, you're like, nooch. And when he threw the baseball throw from the sideline, or like he was bowling, I said, yeah.
No, you're out.
That play you talked about is frustrating when you actually go back and watch it. Yes, Terence Steele still got beat. You know, he still got beat on the 8-yard line. But I don't know if you saw that, Pat. It was about 2 players open on that. I think it was it Cooper?
Cooper was open right quick, and Schultz was awful.
That's what it was. Schultz was open in the middle of the field.
Open.
I just think, Pat, he looked like a 7th-round rookie out of a small school in his first big-time game. So many people wanted to big him up like Tony, but I had to remind people, hey, Tony sat on the bench for 3.5 years before he got his primetime start. That means a whole hell of a lot. And I think that's why we kind of are getting the hints at another guy who maybe didn't start a game yet but has been around the league for a little bit, Cooper Rush, may be the guy moving forward.
Could be Garrett Gilbert.
Garrett Gilbert. Oh my goodness. So you and Big Game James, y'all know all about Garrett, right? And I ain't talking about Coach. Y'all break it down.
We'd already said it. We don't need to break it down. We putting our hand up. I told you in the game, I said, everybody's like, play Gilbert. I said, you don't want that, dog. You don't want that.
You don't have a cannon.
Yeah, you don't want it.
You don't have that
guy.
I mean,
don't have a
guy. Real rap though, Pat. Is he that bad that we don't want to see him in over a 7th-round rookie out of JMU?
Well, here's my deal. I will say play Gilbert for this reason. You got Terence Steele on the right side, and you got T.J. Watt coming up. Sorry, Gilbert, take one for the team.
Right.
I'm going to protect my 7th-round rookie, who I think is something. I think he's something. So when I look at that, yeah, if you're going to continue to play Terence Steele out there, and I'll just tell you right now, I've watched a lot of Texas Tech football. Terence Steele was not good in college, and I don't know why they keep wanting to run him out there.
None of us do.
He got something on the Joneses. He got to have something on the Joneses.
It's baffling. It's baffling. So we kind of, me and James, we were talking about this on the stream at the end of the game. We were searching for answers. Who is the responsible for Terence Steele being out there? And I think we may have somewhat of an answer unless coach is falling on the sword, Pat. But McCarthy came out and was adamant. I want the best. The way to make your offensive line good is to have continuity. We need to have 5 players playing all the time. That's why Terence Steele's out there. Well, Coach, if that is the reason you're keeping Terence Steele out there is to develop continuity, you're literally hurting your team. Not just figuratively speaking. Now you're literally hurting your quarterbacks by keeping that man out there. James, rattle off the amazing stats that you have on Terence Steele.
You got 8 games he's played, 7 sacks given up already, 7 sacks given up already, 28 pressures. He's got 4 penalties already. He's given up 7 hits on the quarterback. And I mean, if you're already giving up 7 sacks and you gave up 3 in one game, I mean, where do you think it's going to happen when you're going against this Pittsburgh lineup? And you don't think they're all watching the tape. We watched this guy. We were talking about it, and Law too, that they were going to blitz heavy on that side where Steele is, and all the teams are doing it. Even when we played Seattle before Jamal Adams, they was coming on that right side because they knew Steele was that weak link. And until they figure it out, and they're going to look at Dallas like, y'all going to keep putting him out here? Okay. Thank you. You're going to make this easy for us.
No, I saw it so crazy that they put Fletcher Cox on the edge over there and say, hey, Cox, you go get some food too. Eat. And he plays him primarily inside. And on top of that, when I look at the film with DiNucci and Terence Steele when he was out there, the better passes that was caught or what have you, or time that he was giving up is when they went 12 personnel and they gave bail on the side of Steele, and he looked formidable in a sense. A little bit.
Confidence, he got help. Go ahead, Pat.
Go ahead.
Man, it's tough, but I've talked about this at length. I start with Joe Philbin. Because I mean that's where I start. I mean this guy is a former head coach. He's supposed to be like a guru, right? Offensive line. And this offensive line is poor, and you're only as good as your weakest link,
Right.
and that's your right tackle. I've talked about this at length. I think if you're not going to move Zach Martin out to right tackle, you should move Connor Williams and play Connor McGovern, because at this point you're 2-6 halfway through the season. It's not looking good. Yeah, you're still in the race because of how poor the NFC East is, but this is about evaluations now, and I need to get a true evaluation of Connor McGovern, a true evaluation of who's my swing tackle next year. If you're expecting Lyle Collins back and you're expecting
Brandon Knight.
Smith, Brandon Knight, whenever he comes back, I'd like to see him out there, whether it's right or left, figure it out. But I think you got to figure out what you got in Connor McGovern, and let's not forget Connor Williams was an All-American offensive tackle at Texas.
Haven't we been calling for that for a few years? I don't know.
Yeah, I think we have
multiple offensive line coaches, multiple head coaches, multiple offensive staffs seem to just not believe in Connor Williams at tackle, to the point that they decided to move their all-pro right guard to tackle when it mattered in a game. I think, and this is the big thing here, you talked about having to get some evaluation from your young guys. I think we have enough tape on Terence Steele. I think it's enough. Right, there's about 8 games of terrible tape. There needs to be no more evaluation. He's seen it, coach. Now make an adjustment. My problem is I don't know whose call is this, because McCarthy is beating on the table. If it's McCarthy, he needs to take the rap for this. If it's Joe Philbin, he needs to take the rap for this. But the reason why me and James go back and forth on Joe is because outside from Steele, I have to give my man a pat on the back on this offensive line. This offensive line, if this was 2000 and what was it when Tony was getting crushed? 11-ish, 10-ish, something like that.
13-ish.
Around those years. I feel
11,
like
12 and 13.
Right. I feel like it would crumble even more than it is. But when you really look at it, a player that we came at heavily, Cam Irvin hasn't been the detriment that we thought he'd be. Has he been great? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But Cam Irvin has been serviceable. He's looked like what? A swing tackle, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Zach Martin is Zach Martin. Tyler Biadasz, we're happy about Tyler, right? Are we just going to ignore that his coach is Joe Philbin? And here's the big one. Here's the big one, guys, because I got on Connor Williams for a long time. Actually not playing bad lately.
This is his best year.
This has been his best last few games, which is wild because he was really bad at the beginning of the year with Joe Looney at center. So somebody has to get credit for a Cam Irvin playing a little bit better. Tyler Biadasz progression as a rookie 4th-round pick. Connor Williams is starting to turn it back on now. Maybe it's coaching, maybe it's having a better guy next to him. But it's that one position, and this is where Pat.
Sky, what is 5 times 5?
Excuse me.
What's 5 times 5?
25 why?
So what's 5 times a -1, or what's 5 times a 0? It always going to eliminate all of the positive things that Joe is doing when you have Steele out there. Steele is still the problem.
Right.
I think that they need to figure this out. And of course, I can give Joe all of the praises on these other guys, but he is letting this team down. He is calling quarterbacks to get killed almost.
That is where I'm getting. Is it Joe? Mm-hmm. Because we hear your head coach is coming out here pounding his chest for Terence Steele. Your vice president is coming out here pounding his chest for Terence Steele. Let me ask you something, Law, James, Pat. Have you heard Joe Philbin coming out pounding his chest about Terence Steele?
I haven't heard him. When the last press conference?
I ain't know. He ain't said nothing all year.
Okay. Well, hold on. Are we sure that Joe Philbin could even talk? Ain't nobody heard him.
He could talk. I remember his last over in Miami. I mean, he like wily old coyote. But you know what I'm saying? But I get what you're saying on that still. I feel what you're saying.
But if it is him though, y'all, he needs to be reprimanded for this.
Yeah.
But when you, like you said, who the key person that came out to me, who you said out of anybody, Sky, was when you heard Stephen Jones, director of player personnel. Stephen Jones, director of player personnel. Yeah, I'm coming with it. Director of player personnel, Stephen Jones, when he comes out and says, Terence Steele, he looking good. What else can you do after that?
Nothing.
Real quick.
And then he wants to say, oh, it's on the coaches if they want to put Zach Martin at right tackle.
Real quick.
I'm watching.
Before I let you guys finish on the Terence Steele, Patrick, can you let them know where they can find you and where you work? Because some people are like they know who your name, but they don't know where you.
Yeah. I cover the Cowboys for WFAA, and also the editor of Longhorns Wire with USA Today.
Thank you, sir.
So you can find me at Pat Sports Guy on Twitter.
Great follow, by the way.
That's good stuff.
Yes, he be coming with them damn
Maybe
stats.
one of the most sarcastic followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
Sarcastic motherfucker.
So I guess did you read that tweet I said about the quarterback? Then I guess.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
No, anyway. So when I heard that it could be Garrett Gilbert or Cooper Rush, my comment was, okay, so he looked bad on Sunday, so you're not going to trot him out. So I guess if you play bad, you're not going to get trotted out, right? Cough, Terence Steele.
Exactly. That's what's so mind-boggling. I mean, but see, that ain't even sarcastic. That's just a great tweet.
Right.
Because it makes no sense.
No.
It just makes no sense. It's one thing where you continue to bring Jalen out, right? Like, all right.
Right. We get it.
I get it.
We get it.
But why are you continuing to trot this?
You
man
don't
out
owe
here?
Terence Steele
Nothing.
Nothing.
You don't owe him nothing.
Put it like this: the best series and the best drive we had when he had the boo-boo guts, when he had to get him up out the paint. I said, man, Dak Prescott came alive during that series. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
His actual best game was against the Giants.
The Giants, who don't have a pass rush.
I
I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that.
They don't have a great.
They don't have a great pass rush.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you this: Did y'all watch the Senior Bowl practices this last year?
Terence Steele, Bradley Nye.
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying, did you watch?
All on
did you watch Bradley and Nye and him? Okay.
Yes, that's what we were talking about, me and Law, because what Bradley and I was doing to him in that damn Senior Bowl.
Right.
He had a field day with him. He was doing the exact same thing that the guys in the NFL are doing. He had the exact same technique.
Lewis says, "Why did the Cowboys trade Steele?" Lewis,
I take a half-eaten sandwich for him right now. You know what? I'll make the half-eaten sandwich. How about that?
ain't nobody giving up a damn no asset, not a near, nada, nothing.
Not an ass.
Nobody drafted him, right?
Not an asset, not an ass.
Not nothing, man. I got so to me, Terence
quarter.
So he supplanted himself in Cowboys Hall of Shame. He is now in the VIP section with Chaz Green and Alex Barron. Welcome,
hey, boys.
Welcome, Terence Steele. You are in the "you're trash" at right tackle section. At tackle,
Wait a minute.
period.
Is that the same wing with Barbie Carpenter? Is that the same wing?
It's the same building, different wing.
Okay.
This the offensive lineman wing.
Yeah.
That Bobby hurted us even more, though, because he's
the offensive lineman wing.
I blame him for that trip to Cabo. I'm still mad about it. Don't get me started.
So, Toby, one of our huge Cowboy fans over on Facebook, he had said something earlier in the chat, and we kind of heard a little bit about this. He said, "Well, why are we not putting Zach Martin out at right tackle?" Which we keep asking for this, and we finally got an answer. And apparently, y'all, Mike McCarthy is like James in Law Nation. He don't play fantasy football. Because he came out and said, that's fantasy football. I don't know if he thinks Zach Martin's a flex option. I don't know if he think he's, maybe he got some running back, fullback, option, tight end stuff going on. But that's not fantasy football. That's real life.
Let me ask this. Did he hate fantasy football back against Seattle when they put Zach Martin at right tackle? What changed?
I'm telling you what changed.
Got sick.
I'm telling you, Zach Martin. Remember I said this guy when I said Zach Martin came hard in the paint and said, I am a right guard. When I heard him on paper say it, and I heard him in the interview say it, I feel like he's like, I've been doing this, and this is my best position. And I feel like he's might be sticking out his chest like, I don't want to go to right tackle. And they're like, okay.
You know what I would have said if I was a coach? And I am the head coach.
I feel you, but I feel y'all.
I would have said,
But I feel like Zach is really resisting that move. Is like, I don't want to do it. And even though he's coming in the media like this right before the Philly game, I'll play wherever they want to play. And I said, well, move his ass then.
Move him.
He said, I'll play wherever I want to play, wherever you want. And then damn well we needed him. And here's the thing, Patrick. I watched that Washington game. Connor McGovern, Connor McGovern.
Right on the point, right on the money, yeah.
Connor McGovern. Hey, remember, Sky, when we said he looked smaller than Zach Martin, right?
Yeah.
But that man got power, dog. I was really watching him against that Washington team. He was moving. They were not moving him like Connor Williams. Like, they'll move Connor Williams. Right. He was not getting moved. He was stuffing them and moving them out the way. That's what I got excited about. Okay, we got a strong guard. And like you said, Pat, you got Connor Williams was an All-American tackle. What are y'all scared about? How can you lose anything worse by moving Connor Williams at right tackle than you have at Terence Steele, and you put Connor Williams at left guard? You got Zach Martin at right guard. You got Tyler Biadasz at center, and then you can flex a Brandon Knight at your left tackle and Cam Irvin. You can flex them too. That's a better offensive lineman for you right now. Come on, Joe Philman. Let me take your job. I need your money.
Oh, man. I don't know why they ain't just making those necessary moves, man.
No, I don't either, bro. I truly don't. I had to say something sarcastically about the situation. I'm wondering if the front office is doing the T word. Are they doing the T word by keeping Terence Steele out there? And by T word, I mean DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean Tank.
Yeah, and we ain't talking about the boxer Tank. That boy can hit.
Heads off.
I'm telling y'all.
Is that why 54 is still on the field?
Hey, we can go there. We can go there
yeah.
Sean Lee only had 6 snaps, and Mike McCarthy said it was the way the game was going is why Jalen Smith was out there. We saw plenty mishaps in the tape though, where Brian Baldinger brought it out, but it wasn't just that play where Jalen once again was confused, and you're like, why? I mean, is that? I don't know, dog. I don't know.
And you know what's crazy? The Jalen Smith's apologists, man. It's like we can literally put it out on tape and show them. They're like, hey, this is somebody's grandmother in a wheelchair, and if they turn this quick, he can't turn that quick to cover it. You know, he just can't do it. I don't care what nobody say. Well, look. If you play football, if you play any ounce of football, you would say, no, he can't flip his hips. He can't change the direction. He can't cover grandmother in a wheelchair. He can't do it. I digress.
What's your thoughts on him, man? What's your thoughts on Jalen, Pat?
Y'all know them hover rounds, you can just turn real quick. If he got one of them 0 turns, he gonna mess Jalen up. You know them 0 turns.
And then click the button.
And then he stop and go. Oh, boy.
Oh, my bad, y'all. My bad.
Hey, you better leave him alone, Law.
I'm just gonna say. I honestly don't think he ain't supposed to be on the field. He shouldn't be on the field. I'm sorry. If you look that bad, put hobbling Sean Lee out there. I'd rather deal with him, but at least I know he's gonna know what's coming. Let me just say it: he's football dumb.
That's what. See, off air, we were talking about it. I just personally don't believe he's a smart guy that plays football. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I don't believe he's a smart guy on the field, like you said, football dumb.
Yeah, it's
football IQ.
Leading the league in tackles. It's tackles.
Well, cool. Where were those tackles at? 10 yards down the field? 15?
Right.
20?
That's
where they
what
at?
I said.
But stat munchers and people that don't watch the film, that's all they're going to put up. But if they really, I just want people to watch this particular film. You remember the game, big game, James and Con and Sky?
Yep.
When Sean Lee had 22 tackles.
It's a Giants.
Y'all remember the game? It's the Giants?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know, have you ever seen Jalen Smith play like that? And I'll die.
Gosh, no. He's not an instinctual player.
Right.
He's not.
See, that's the thing is Sean Lee knew what was going to happen before the offense knew what was going to happen.
That's why we liked him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you talk about a guy who watches as much film as he does. He can see all the tails. You know, he knows when they go in this formation, 98% of the time they run, or, you know, in this formation, they like to, you know, they'll run the jet sweep to the left side. I mean, he knows these things because he studies it. And he's not the most athletic linebacker on the field. You just think he is because he knows where to go before the play actually happens.
Yeah.
You know, I would equate it to watching Tony Romo call a game where he says, you know, watch, they're going to run this to the left side. It's the same thing. it's that football brain, and I don't get it because Jalen followed Sean Lee around for so long. I'm like, you didn't pick up anything? Like nothing?
I see. That's what we thought. We thought Jalen followed Sean Lee around, but what I'm thinking maybe Jalen did was he followed around ways to get the clear eye view and the eagle eye glasses or whatever it's called, and setting up the business. He must have been following Jerry around, because I'm gonna keep on going back to it. When he signed that deal, the first thing out of his mouth was that I'm excited to get in business with Jerry Jones. I'm not lying. Go watch the press conference. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I get it because Jerry's going to help you off field, but I'm pretty sure that's what sold him. And also, Pat, it was 2 years, or it was a year before. A year before we needed to sign him, coming off of what we thought was a really good year in 2018, who I myself thought. But again, did you need to do it?
You didn't have to.
You could have let that play out and say, okay, it's one game. Or sorry, it's one season coming off a catastrophic injury. Let's see if he can come back and do that same thing again.
You know what that reminds me of?
Who's that?
That reminded me of Miles Austin.
One great season and he got paid.
I'm hamstring.
And then what? And then he got hamstrung.
Hammer time.
Yeah, I mean, that was it. It's what it reminded me of. It's like, how many times have we seen this story? I mean, how many times are we going to do the same thing? And that's the thing I'm seeing. And I think, I mean, we talk a lot. It's the running Terence Steele out there. It's the paying players after one productive season. You know, we see this time and time again. And you know what? If next season, you know, Leighton Vander Esch, don't get me wrong, I love Leighton Vander Esch. I think he's just got to stay healthy, right?
That's the
but
problem.
If he goes out there next year and has a great season and then they pay him, I'm going to say the same thing. Are we going to do the Jalen thing all over again?
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and that's crazy, right, James? That he pointed out LVE because we talked about this show ago, and chat and law. I can't right at this moment sit here and say I'm going to pay LVE, even if he has a great year next year, because that'll be what, fourth year. I'd say okay, you had a great year. Now go ahead, play on this option. Let's see if you can do it again. Let's see if you can stay healthy. If LVE stays healthy the rest of this year, all of next year, and then in his option year, then I'll think about paying you. Until then, I'm not doing that.
And see, you know, the option year has changed this year for first rounders. Well, it changed with the new CBA, correct? So now the option isn't based off just where you was drafted; it's based off your production. So if you have a good option, if you have a good option year, it goes up in the price. It doesn't just stay where it's at. So you have a chance to be productive in that option year and raise your money. So to Sky's point, I'm definitely like, go ahead, because you will have some motivation as well. But I need to see at least two straight healthy years from LV. Two straight.
They used to be. I won't say they used to be. There was a point in time where the Cowboys were actually pretty good at getting ahead of certain contracts, Pat. You remember the Cole Beasley. I feel like they got ahead of Cole Beasley earlier on. They got ahead of, I know this is going to sound crazy, y'all, I know. I think Jeff Heath's contract wasn't a detriment. I think for a third safety, a special teams guy, and then a guy inserted at the safety position, we all got on Jeff because we didn't think he was that type of starter material. But Jeff Heath is a glue guy, one of those, you know, type of glue guys you have on teams. Right?
I said this last week.
Barry Church
on a podcast that I did. This football team right now misses Jeff Heath. Why? Because for two reasons. Like you said, he's a glue guy, and why? Because he's he's got football IQ. They miss him and Byron for that reason alone. You can take away the ability. Don't even talk about what he does on the field. It's all up here is what they're missing right now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I equated to it. And honestly, if I could find a way to get Jeff Heath back, I would, because I'm sick and tired of watching these safeties get beat.
Well,
you don't like Donovan Wilson? You don't like Donovan? So you think Donovan Wilson is trash?
He's a good backup.
So what is Jeff Heath?
He's
nothing but a backup too.
Well, I'll say this, James. I'm not sold all the way on Wilson yet.
I'm not sold on him, but I'm just saying he ain't chopped liver right now. He hasn't looked his last 3 games. He has improved each game.
Oh,
yeah, but to me,
we need to flat out invest.
I know.
He's not starting, to be honest with you, I don't think any of the safeties on this team are started quality.
I can't disagree with that right now. It's hard to disagree with that until now. If Donovan just snaps the rest of the year, is a totally different story. But
we only got a small window of him. I want to see some more of him.
But right now on November 3rd, 9:35.
I agree.
Do we have a starting safety on this team at 9:35 at 11/3/2020?
No.
Well,
we like our guys though. We like.
Can we get some Reggie Robinson out there?
Yeah, that's what I say. Do we like Reggie Robinson? Is he one of the guys we like? I mean,
they drafted him. What worse are you going to do
in the 4th round? That's crazy. A 4th round pick. If I'm optimistically coming out of a draft, I want my first rounder to be my day 1 starter. I want my second rounder really to be my day 1 starter. But if he got to be a day 2 starter, then he can be a day 2 starter. I want my 3rd rounder to produce for me on special teams. I want my 4th rounder to produce for me on special teams. And after that, you just hope for the best. Reggie can't even get activated. What is going on?
So the thing that I've been told in talking to people is that he's not getting the special teams, right? He's for some reason he's not getting the special teams. That's why he's not getting active. But here's my deal on that. Okay, great. He's not getting special teams. I got you. But you consistently were running out Daryl Worley.
Mm-hmm.
And what was Reggie Robinson so good at Tulsa last year?
Punt blocking.
Special teams. That's one of the reasons why they got him, because his special teams ability.
He was also a ball. He was also a ball hawk.
He was a ball hawk.
And he was long. They liked the long guys. He was tall and aggressive. They liked the aggressive. He's very aggressive when he played at Tulsa.
Yeah, so you're talking about a guy who, like you said, he made the special teams play, but also I don't think he's picking up safety, which is fine. Corner. Which is what he was.
Then let him play corner. Let him learn. Exactly. We ain't got nothing to lose.
Is he going to play over AB or is he going to play over Diggs?
He don't play over nobody right now.
Yeah,
he can play over J. Lou.
Oh, but here's the thing. Like, you got J. Lou. I want to keep Cheeto, but you got J. Lou who's dangling. We don't know if he's going to come back because he's not going to cost a lot of money on the market.
Know. He ain't coming back.
Right. So if we know that, then we got to see. Yeah, we got to get. You should have traded him last year for real when you had kind of some value. But if you drafted Reggie Robinson, your regime, this is your first draft, Mike McCarthy with the Cowboys, and you see this record. Man, I get in your head. We still got a chance. Stephen Jones keeps saying it, dog. We all know it. Play this dude so you can evaluate and see, because you know them other guys ain't coming back. So you need to play him. If he ain't getting the safety, like you said, he played corner. There's a way. You can't be a gunner on the damn team.
Toby said if Steele can play, Robinson can play.
Right. And I see a lot of people saying, what about Chris Westery? A lot of people yelling him. So what?
No.
No. It's a dog.
He had a serious face. He ain't even laugh. He's come on, man.
Kentucky.
Kentucky road.
Listen, I get wanting to. I totally
Watkins,
get.
Sky.
Listen, I'm enamored with the 6'4", 4'3" stuff, right? I am totally enamored with it. But he was, Pat, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but Chris Westery may have been the biggest project that the Cowboys have from that draft class, if you want to call it draft free agency last year. The dude, and James, you was out there. The dude is paper thin. He paper soft.
Man, I'll tell you what, this guy,
he got legs.
To me, this guy is a bigger stretch than Rico Gathers was. And Rico didn't even play
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
I mean, yeah, the size is great. The speed's great. What's his football IQ? What's his instincts look like? Put some weight on, buddy. Because I feel like
some people can't put it on. I think he's one of them guys. He's Jeremiah the bullfrog. You know when you hold a bullfrog and you squeeze it and his legs get real long? That's what he look like.
Hey, Cowboy Marty said, hey, we thought Worley was good. Listen, if you watch the tape from last year and the last 2 years, Worley was not a bad play. Here's the thing.
When people come to Dallas, they get bad. Remember that.
Listen.
Remember, when people come to Dallas, they get terrible, okay? Remember that. And when they leave, they're good again.
Was a productive player before he came to Dallas.
I was excited about him.
Everson Griffin had 8 sacks last year before he came to Dallas.
Come to Dallas, they die.
Don Terry Poe in 9 games was a disruptive guy and had 4.5 sacks and had some tackles for loss. He was an anchor in a sense. Now the rest of his team wasn't good against the run, but he played. I'm saying they played better than they did in Dallas. So it ain't just Worley ain't good. Like, dog, neither was Griffin. Neither was Clinton Diggs. Neither was Worley. Neither was none of these dudes. Apparently,
they put Worley one-on-one.
We didn't even see Clinton Diggs.
How
bad was he?
I was just about to say, if we didn't see him, then we got to know he had to be putrid.
Has anybody even picked up?
No, but Worley got picked up.
Well, hold on. I mean,
I bet you Worley decent somewhere else.
Clinton Diggs looked pretty good when he was running from that bear, though.
Marty, Worley wasn't going to be a starter, Marty. It was going to be Cheeto. Cheeto got hurt.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
Cheeto.
And I'll be the first to say I thought Worley would be decent with us. I really did.
I did too. I thought he'd be just a quality veteran guy. But how do you explain all the veterans being bad? All of them, except for Aldon Smith.
And he's kind of slowed down.
They had a sack last night though.
So I have a theory on why all of those veterans are bad.
What is
it?
And
it's a really profound theory. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's because Mike Nolan sucks. That's why.
It's hard to argue that.
I
mean, he's well. Let's see. He sucked at the Falcons. He took a top 5 defense and turned him to a bottom 5 defense in less than 2 years.
Yeah,
he did that in Dallas in less than 9 months. Man, that's talent. I don't know how you do that.
It's hard to argue, Pat, James, Law, that this is a Mike Nolan thing.
And for me, it's not just that it's Mike Nolan. It's just I think they need to pick a defense. Are you a 4-3? Or are you a 3-4? Pick one. Quit this jumping back and forth because everybody you have on this team, talking about your personnel, it's built for a 4-3.
Yep.
So play the 4-3. It's kind of hard to play the 4-3 at a high level when you don't have any defensive tackles.
Yeah.
But
Pat, it's hard to play any scheme without quality.
Well, right,
tackles.
but like a 3-4, obviously it's a little different because you got your 1s and your 5s.
Yeah, but you got some respectable 1s and 5s.
Yeah, that's right. They don't have that. They don't have a 1 or a 3.
They could have easily picked up the phone and called somebody outside of Eli, but that's a story of a different day. Snacks, yeah. And then I know that they had Poe and these sorts of things. And he looked like a roly-poly out there. He couldn't knock over a wet
roly-poly
paper bag. He couldn't do none of that stuff. But I still, when I look at the film and I see whether it's a 4-3 or a 3-4, whatever it may be, a hybrid, when that safety is time to come down and fill, I just think that he still just look at it and say, nah, I'm not finna come down and fill. I think that number 25, he just not a safety.
He ain't it.
He ain't it.
I questioned him in the offseason. I said, listen, we keep waiting for Xavier Woods to bust through the next level. And he gets so mad when you have the audacity to go look for a safety. I'm mad. Well, stop being mad, fake mad, and go on the field and play like you want to be that next guy. And it's 2 years in a row that he's just not that guy, Pat.
He's not. He's not for me at all. And safety's been an issue for what? We've been saying this since Darren left.
Right.
I mean, and it was funny because when we had Roy Williams, everybody thought Roy Williams is real good. He can hold it down. And then Woody left, and then he fell apart.
Yeah, and the game changed. Game changed on Roy, and that was a wrap. But I appreciate Roy for what he did, James.
Yeah, you feel me? You feel me,
yeah.
Scott?
No, I like
they
Roy.
had Woodson and Williams. That's what's great because Williams could play his natural spot up in the box and be like that secondary type linebacker. But when they started exposing him in coverage, dog, it was over.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Game changed real fast on him.
I think of the safety position and finding a safety very similar to finding a quarterback because he's your quarterback of your defense.
Can be, yeah.
Man, we should have picked up Jeremy Chin, man. You know,
We wanted Jeremy Chin.
We wanted Chin.
you know.
I seen him at the combine. I seen him at the Senior Bowl.
But here's
That's a big boy.
here's the issue, and we talked about this in the offseason, and I'll continue to talk about it. You can tell what positions this team really values by looking in the draft. Okay, we have not drafted a safety higher than the 3rd round since Roy Williams. We've only drafted one safety higher than the 5th round, a 5th or 4th round since Roy Williams, and it was a converted running back in J.J. Wilcox. So they don't give a damn about safety, and it's not just Will McClay. It's not just whoever the head coach is. It's Jerry and Steven. They truly don't care about safety, which is mind-boggling to me because
you know what else they don't care about?
You had Darren Woodson forever.
You know what else they don't care about?
What's that?
When was the last time Cowboys drafted a defensive tackle in the 1st round?
Russell.
It was like Russell Maryland.
Exactly. 1991.
Jesus.
Who was there?
Oh, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
You know what? This all goes back to one thing. We don't have football guys operating the front office. Let me tell you something. We just how do you say his name, Law or James? Eli, what's that defensive tackle's last name?
Aku, Anchu, something like that.
So we traded for Eli for the 7th round pick. Gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen watching, boys and girls.
It's even better. The 7th round pick in the 2022 NFL draft. So it's not even next year's NFL draft.
Huh?
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
2022.
So we gave up well that changes just slightly then I guess. Nonetheless, 7th round pick. We gave up a 7th round pick for a guy who is now on his 6th team in 3 years. 3 or 4 years. A guy who got cut twice this year alone. And we sent the 7th round pick to the Texans. Mind you, former all-pro cornerback Desmond King just got traded to the Titans for a 6th round pick. Okay. Pro Bowl defensive end Yannick Ngakoue got traded for a 2021 3rd and a 2022 5th. Marcus Peters got traded for a 2020 5th. Calais Campbell got traded for a 2021 5th. The Cowboys gave up a 7th round pick for a guy who was on his 6th team in 3 years. But we can't go make a trade like that. You don't have football smart people at the top. And that kind of trade, granted, I know it's a 7th round pick, but I say that to illustrate other teams are trading a little bit more and getting a whole lot back.
What if this?
We score.
What if the front office is in tank mode, but they hadn't told the coaching staff?
That's what I said at the top of the show. I said I feel like maybe they're in tank mode, but they want to come out here and give us, Stephen Jones that talk outside of his ass. We still in it. Stephen, I don't believe
they got to
you.
sell. Hey, they got to sell merchandise, so they got to lead people to believe that they still in it and they try it. Well, I know you ain't trying.
That's that business side. That's that businessman side. They great businessmen. They great businessmen.
They
but
are.
Football guys, you ain't them dudes. And I'll say the titles once again, Law. Your 2 top people, Jerry and Steven, hold 3 titles apiece. So you have 6 titles between 2 people, and they're all the major football titles, and you're not football guys. People always want to say, oh, that's the easy route. I want to blame Jerry. You don't want to give him credit. But here's the thing. Yeah, you get, he's out there trying to sign people, but he's always in the middle of it, though. After the signing, they jump in the middle of it. They always have the last say. Your coach is never really empowered because he doesn't really have any say. He'll make a suggestion, but it's up to them. They have the last word on it. And if they're saying, nah, I don't want to spend that money on that guy, we're going to keep going in this circle round and round and round. And like you said, they're going to deceive the average fan, the one that's like, hey, I love the Cowboys, it don't matter. They appeal to them because they're going to attack their brains. But the people like us that been in it, dog, we ain't falling for it and we call it out. And then they want to blame us. But, dog, 25 years in running, I got to keep saying something about it.
Man, facts, man.
He ain't lying.
He ain't lying.
Hey, coming out of the game, though, I hear that. Coming out of the game against Philly,
straight out of
there was a little bit of positivity to move forward, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. It's cautious optimism to me though, because the games that we've looked good on defense were against two of the worst offenses. I know the Eagles offense isn't god awful like the Giants were, but I mean Carson Wentz is careless Carson, and they're just still not that good of a team.
So what if Carson Wentz is actually Jameis Winston?
I said I think he Jameis Winston. He just the white version.
I mean,
just the white version.
It's just some of those throws.
He's Jamie.
And so it was funny because it's hard to believe, but I actually have a good friend who's an Eagles fan, and he's actually respectful when he talks to Cowboys-Eagles. And he'd send me a text during the game. He goes, "I've never seen a quarterback throw the cornerback open before." And I was like, that's a good point. I've never seen that either.
He'd been doing it all year.
All year.
Yes, 17 turnovers on the season. That's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
17
in 8 games. That's wild, man. They used to kill us about Tony Romo, right? Used to kill us. But Tony was routinely throwing for like 30, 30-some touchdowns. He was making tons of plays and keeping us in. This dude Carson throwing him out. He just happened to run up against a booty team, because if Dak was playing, we'd have blew their asses out.
Man,
it wouldn't even be close. It wouldn't even be close. I have to say and I think you made a good point, Steele, when you talk about cautious optimism. So, I saw Tank make some plays in this game, but that right tackle sucks.
Yeah,
right.
But he ain't Terence Steele bad, so I'm gonna give Tank some credit.
Yeah, here's why I'm gonna give him credit, because I like the process of how he got what he got. It wasn't like he just came off the ball, bullied the dude back. Nah, he used a variety of moves. He was out there working. He showed his hustle. Yeah. He showed his grit. He showed that elite backside ability that he has. He has that elite hop, step, chop. Like he looked like Tank of 2014. In a way. Or not 2014, I'm sorry. Tank in 2017, 18 when he was getting paid. So I give him props for that. But the reason why I give cautious optimism is because we're about to go up against a better team. And for whatever reason, our entire defense, not just like one person, the entire defense disappears against better teams. They just do.
Now, if they show us any bead of what we just saw against this Philadelphia Eagles team of the same situation, I'm gonna say, okay, maybe they buying into Mike Nolan. But if they look, we finna get routed.
But it's funny,
Claypool and all of those boys. But go ahead.
No, Law. What did we say during the stream? When there was positive plays going on the defense, they were aggressive. Mike Nolan was aggressive. This is what we have been asking for. Blitz more, be more exotic. Do different things to make the quarterback say, "Oh snap, hold the ball longer so your pass rushers can get home." He did that throughout the game. And if you go into a game and you say your defense only gave up 16 points because of two point conversions, you'll say, "I would take that with this historically bad defense." So I agree, Law. If you go into you come out of the Steelers game, which I think is going to be an L regardless, but if you come out of there and you hold the Steelers to 21-20 points, I feel a little confident now on the defense. But right now, it's cautious.
What was interesting, and I made note of this during the game, I thought it was funny, is the fact that playing against the Eagles, the Cowboys doubled their turnover numbers. Actually went more than double, because they had 3 up until that point, and they ended up with 4 in the game. So maybe this is a little bit of giving them some confidence, because you had to admit that there's nothing that's gone on the field that's given this defense any confidence whatsoever. And as we all know in football, confidence can be the difference between a win and a loss. Now, do I think they're going to go in there and beat the Steelers? Not on their best.
No. But you just got to. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to win. They're not going to win this game.
Build something.
But if the defense can come out of this game only giving up 24 or less, and get a couple more turnovers, now you're like, okay. Now you got to say, okay, Mike Nolan, you heard us. You definitely made some changes in that Eagles game. You did. I mean, there was way more aggressiveness in that game. So that's where I'm at with it. Cautious optimism.
It's kind of like when we see Ezekiel Elliott bust an 8-yard run, we be like, "Yeah, dude, he's back, baby."
Damn, that's so sad. Zeke only has 115.
Apologists gonna be like, oh no.
Well, I want to say my little quick thoughts about D-Law.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's. I'm not hating. Like I said, y'all hear the rant. I ain't taking that rant back, But I'm not never hated on the hustle. 23 pressures, 18 hurries, 22 stops, 23 solo tackles, 3 sacks. Now he's always been a dog in the run game. He has always been an absolute monster in the run game. He can set that edge, break that. I mean, his hand fighting has always been good. But what I'm saying is when you get paid like that top dog, you got 3 sacks. No hate, but the 3 sacks, one was against Cam Fleming. He ain't good, okay? The other one was against the Eagles right tackle, I think is a rookie. Lane Johnson was out, and he struggles against Lane Johnson, okay? Except maybe a couple years ago. The Washington tackle, he was a backup because their left tackle got hurt. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not hating on no D-Law, but we still got to talk the facts. He's killing everything else, but we got to see in these tough games like the Steelers. I need you to see that sack or forced fumble in that game, not just in these games where I know you can beat that tackle. I know you can beat that rookie tackle. I need you to beat this dog tackle when we need it. You feel me? That's all I'm saying about D-Law. Don't just kill the dudes you should kill. Kill these other guys when we need it at most too.
What if this, though? I mean, when we talk about offensive line, right? I remember for years, I would have to cover for Doug Free. People would yell about it. And I said all the time, before they drafted Jack Martin, I said, I guarantee you fix that right guard spot, you're going to fix his problems because he's getting beat inside. That's where he's getting beat. Well, who's inside? Jack Martin. What happened? Doug Free turned out to be a pretty good right tackle. I think a lot of people dogged him for too much. But here's my thing. Maybe the first game where Dontari Poe isn't to the right of DeMarcus Lawrence, he has a good game. So how much is it that defensive tackle is helping Tank out? Because they all help each other out if they're on their point. So that's where I'm looking at it. I'm not making excuses for Tank or anything like that because you pay him that much money, you expect a certain output. Right. But maybe fixing the defensive tackle and getting rid of Poe because Poe wasn't helping you will help Tank out.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's a great point. A really good DT is definitely going to help your edge guys out, and that's what we all thought was going to happen coming into this season. We thought Gerald McCoy and Dontari Poe combination was really going to allow Aldon Smith, Everson Griffin, and DeMarcus Lawrence to be successful on the edges. But you come in, Gerald McCoy gets hurt, right? Tristan Hill is starting to come on. He gets hurt. Dontari Poe, I think, I don't think he likes football. I don't want to say likes football. I think there's something going on with Poe. I just do. I think Poe likely is going to retire. I just feel
he's gonna work on getting in football shape now. That's what he said.
If he was truly 30 pounds overweight, I don't know if I want to blame COVID on how he even made the team, but guys, you got to eat that. You cannot have a 370-pound guy out there, 360-pound guy out there like Poe. He ain't Snacks. Snacks carries it entirely differently. Yeah. So
Snacks is crazy.
Crazy it is.
That's the difference. I want crazy. I want a crazy dude on the defense. Then we'd have Brandon Tucker, and he said the defensive linemen are crazy. He didn't say that. Yeah. They have a different type of edge. We didn't see that edge from Poe. You're in the trenches, dog. You got to be the animal. You got to be the dog, the lion, the gorilla. That's what you have to be in them trenches. If you just being the big boy that's just sitting there want to play what you want, that's a good move. Get him out of there. I think Antoine Woods can only go so far because you double team him, he's going to get pushed out the way. But I do believe he gives maximum effort. I do believe he plays hard. And to your point, Patrick, if he's playing next to Tank, I believe he does tap out because I believe they're friends too. I believe they have a relationship with each other. So when you have a relationship with each other, you tend to play better with each other because you kind of know each other. Whereas Poe, he didn't know Poe from anything. COVID came in, you didn't have really any kind of camp, so you really had no good adjustment period to really get to know Poe as well. So to your point, and I think one of the biggest things, maybe we have all talked about it, but maybe if you had a Gerald McCoy didn't get hurt sitting next to a Tank Lawrence, man, what could have that been? Because I damn sure believe McCoy would have brought that pain and would have been able to help a Tank Lawrence out. That just really hurts.
Yeah.
You also lost your leadership. You lost your leader.
Yeah.
Hold on. I thought that Crawford's supposed to be the quote-unquote leader. Can you give me your thoughts on that, Con? On Crawford?
I think he's a glue guy. I don't think he's a leader.
He ain't even that no more.
No. Like last year,
Elmer's glue.
They
He
didn't
kids
have
glue
him
now.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of that is they don't have a leader on this football team, on that defense.
But Pat, this is where, again, having football people, you think Bill is bringing back a dude with hip surgeries that can't get over his hip, that's 31 years old, making $9 million on the cap when you can save $8 million of that and go get somebody? Come on, Joneses, you get attached to these dudes. That was idiotic. That doesn't even fit this scheme, Pat. He doesn't fit the scheme.
And that's what bothers me the most is because there's this line of we're going to be loyal to these guys. And I just want to know, when does business start?
It's business who they want to have.
I
know what the answer is. It's just I'm asking the question here. But I do have another question for you guys. I'm kind of curious because it's something I thought about. Why didn't they try and trade Aldon Smith?
Because it
had to be a low offer. That's what Sky. Didn't you say you thought it was a low offer to why they didn't get rid of him? Like a low draft pick, like a 5th or 6th.
That's the only thing I can think of. It must have been some.
That's only because if they offered you a 2nd for Aldon Smith, you need to just.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If they weren't shopping him, then you don't know. Mm-hmm. If they weren't saying, "Hey, this guy is up here for availability, we're taking all offers," then you won't know. If Seattle just happened to pick up the phone because John Schneider over there knows the Joneses because Brian Broaddus was working there and stuff like that. Hey, Steven, we're looking to make a move here for a pass rusher. We're willing to give up a 6th or a 7th round pick, conditional 6th rounder for Aldon Smith. No thanks. But because we're not looking to get rid of him, but if we're going to, we need more than that. Oh, no problem, man. We got Carl Lawson on the hook here for 6th round pick. So all good. Thank you, though. Appreciate it. Because maybe Carl Lawson's not a guy they want to sign long term, but I guarantee you somebody is going to sign Aldon Smith to a long term contract. Long term could be 3 years, but I think he's playing well enough to get another deal.
But I also have heard. I was just gonna say I've actually heard that the Cowboys are looking at extending Aldon Smith.
That's what we heard from that's the reports. But do you have any confidence if Aldon Smith comes away from this season? What do he has? 4 sacks.
5. He's got 5 now.
Jeez, he got 5 sacks. So he's halfway there to his $4 million guarantee. Let's just say he gets 10 sacks. You know damn well this is his last opportunity to get paid.
And he ain't getting paid in Dallas. He ain't getting no money.
I would have a lot more confidence if I thought this team could close the deal on players.
Exactly.
They're going to talk in the media though, so you know that.
Yeah.
Hey, let me get this quick comment in right quick.
Sure.
I wanted to see your comments on it. This from Carlos. Shout out to the Nation for the $20 holla. He says, y'all remember the one documentary of the 90s Cowboys, the bit where Michael Irvin said he used to rat out all the "don't worry, the check will be there next Tuesday" guys to Jimmy? Shake my head. Them boys did not BS. I love that. I like you, Mike. I didn't remember that. But that's a beautiful to hear that he's like, yeah, I'm telling on you. I don't want you here. I'm telling. Yep, I'm telling. I don't want you here. You are a detriment to the team. I don't want you here because we want winners here. I like that. I want winners. I like it.
And nobody gave more effort than
Mike
did.
Right?
Mike, no.
Troy Aikman said himself he never saw anybody practice harder than Michael Irvin. He said he played practice like it was a damn game.
No, fam, he was on that booger sugar.
I know.
That's why he was
wherever he got the energy. I don't care.
Oh my goodness.
Mike was on
some good sugar.
Mike was on that booger sugar.
Good sugar. That year when he had all them 100-yard games, that sugar was good.
That's my son.
Wait a minute. We ain't won a championships to say stop doing it. Maybe they should start doing that again.
They go back to being the cocaine Cowboys.
Cocaine Cowboys. Let's go.
Cocaine Cowboys, baby.
Whatever it takes to win, right?
Hey, let's go.
That motherfucker was, you know it. Seriously though, he had a passion for the game, but he just got an extra boost from that booger sugar. I don't care. He did. Damn it. And they did too in the 70s. Sure, the cocaine dealers was talking about it. Yeah, we
80s,
was selling them.
80s, 90s,
we was selling them Steeler dudes a whole bunch of cocaine before the Super Bowls.
I turn into Michael Irvin every time it snows. I was like, we was out in that cold, and we was cold. Like, yeah, because it's cold outside.
Show is cold.
Yes, indeed, man.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know. I did not know he did that.
That's so crazy, right? Neither did I. And know he was. And the name that he says, he said, "I'm getting rid of all the. I can't wait to get my check Tuesday, people."
I'm having to go back and watch that now because I must have missed
Me too. I want to see that because I could just imagine him telling too. Jerry, Jimmy, him right there,
right there.
So we got an hour in, and we didn't even bring up the player of the game on defense in a way. And Trevon Diggs, man. Shout out to Trevon Diggs. Give him a round of applause.
My God.
We're so fortunate. We're so fortunate. Oh yeah, Pat, you did interview him. We're so fortunate to have, in my opinion, there's not many young pieces. D-Law, I don't consider a young piece anymore. He's not young. LVE, we're not sure. Jalen, no. Aldon's not young. I don't have any beliefs in the DTs right now. They got to see more, right? Safeties, no. And then the rest of your corners.
Hold on. We got a safety on this team?
Exactly. The rest of your corners are on 1-year deals.
Yeah.
Just think about what I just said here. That's nuts. So we are so fortunate to have at least one centerpiece moving forward at a position that we desperately needed because they decided to not bring back the veteran Byron Jones, which that's a whole another conversation. How did you feel coming away from that game, Pat, from Trevon Diggs, who he had his rookies things, right? But he also showed why he was drafted in the second round.
Because he's one of the best ball trackers there are when it's in the air. I mean, you see it. He's running like a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Obviously, because he played wide receiver. You know, and the big thing that I kind of have a problem with a lot of people getting on Trevon Diggs about things. Well, first off, he's a rookie. Right. Second off, you got to remember that this guy just converted from wide receiver not even 3 years ago.
Preach. Mm-hmm.
You know, he's still raw. He's, you know, but he understands what wide receivers are trying to do because obviously he was there. He knows their tendencies. He knows if I was playing this is how I would run this route. And I think that's why it puts him in such a good position to be in some of those interceptions. It doesn't help when Carson Wentz leads you to the ball. That doesn't hurt. It helps out a lot. But the thing is, I think, and I said this before the season, I think Trevon Diggs is going to have 4 picks by the end of the year.
I said 5.
Which would be the first time that's happened.
I still think, but even Terence 4, that's a lot.
When last time we had to do with 4 picks? Maybe Mike Jenkins?
Yeah.
Mike Jenkins.
Carter. Bruce Carter had.
Well, I mean a cornerback. Corner.
Okay.
Henry?
Dan Hamlin, you know. Well, you said cornerback.
Anthony Henry?
Jenkins was after him. I think Jenk might have got 4 or 5.
Yeah, it might have been Jenkins.
Jenkins got 8, I think.
Oh, there you go. So he had that was the last time.
But yeah, I mean, so you got to think about this guy's really new to the position. I mean, 3 years is not a long time because most of these guys are training at that position since what, Pee Wee football?
Yeah.
I mean, most of these guys have been playing that position their whole life, like 10 years, 12 years. This guy's only done it for, the last few years.
I just need what frustrates me about him, and again, this is not coming at him or anything like that, but I just believe he has some greatness in him if he can just tune up some things. He's a rookie, right? But what frustrates me is that a guy that we were kind of high on in Al Harris and Mo Lindquist, I wasn't saying I was high on him, but whatever, he was a new coach. But Al Harris, it surprises me that they haven't, corrected a small detail in his technique, and that's putting paws on these receivers at the line of scrimmage. They just let them get a free release, even when they're pressing. I don't understand that. I don't know if that's a mental thing with him because James, we saw the tape in college, he just never really did it that much. Mm-hmm. Is it confidence? Because remember Jamar Chase, I think it was?
Yeah.
He tried to put hands on Chase.
George Chase was gone.
I mean, but that's smart chase. I mean,
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Did he
There's
get
a
like,
lot of fast NFL receivers though.
did he get
yeah,
shook?
yeah, there is.
Did he get shooketh? Like what happened? Why are you not doing that? So if he can get that down pat, because once he gets that Patrick Peterson confidence, because when Pat Pete in his prime get up in your face, it's a wrap, dog, because you can't beat him deep. Like, he has 4.3 speed. Now, I'm not saying that Diggs does, but he had that 4.3 speed, but it's all about confidence as well. Reggie Miller used to make threes like he did because he said it was about confidence. I just envision making it all the time. So if you give Diggs that confidence, I feel like Diggs can turn into a huge playmaking cornerback.
Or to
Also,
lead, if he can just play
to
like
lead.
to lead.
Yes,
lead is a better comp for him,
That's a good comparison right there.
just hold off on your trash talking until you get that down. Because I want to see you get burned again.
Scary was
after you
scary.
trash.
Hey, Con, can you just imagine if he had a better safety over the top?
And that's my big thing. That's my big thing.
He played even more confidence and even more cocky because
And Earl Thomas really would have
And
helped.
this, what they couldn't fracture that locker room still.
Hey, you know one thing you said about Diggs that's true is that he is playing really good considering, like you said, he came in as a receiver. He didn't switch over to cornerback until I believe it was his junior year, and then he got hurt. So he only played half the year. He only played one full season at cornerback. One full season at cornerback. So we have a young guy playing like that. And one thing that really excited me when Carson Wentz threw that one interception to him, how he tracked that ball when he had his head up underneath.
Like a receiver.
And he had to run up underneath that. You don't see a lot of cornerbacks doing that they can track the ball like a receiver like that.
So when I was watching his college tape at Alabama, and I saw him do a couple of those tracking things, and it reminded me of another player that I watched when I was doing some draft work tracking the ball. Y'all might know this guy. His name is Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is one of the best ball trackers I've ever seen in college. I mean, he plays it like a center fielder, and that's the same thing I saw with Diggs, and maybe that's a wide receiver trait. But that's one of the great things, like you said. He's been so close this year to so many interceptions. It was like it's gonna happen. And it just so happened he got 2 in one.
Oh,
game.
he gonna get a pick. He gonna get a pick 6 or 2.
Now I feel like he's going to be even. One thing I love about Diggs is that he got a short memory, which you have to have as a cornerback.
Yep.
One of the reasons why we were so mad at Morris Claiborne when they drafted him so high, when he would
soft.
burn a little bit, soft as hell, go in the shell, crying crying to the world, this is bad. No, you a cornerback, dog. You gonna get burnt.
Didn't he quit?
I remember he was crying. Didn't he cry? He was crying a lot.
He quit. He went home. He quit.
They would talk about me. I'm getting my ball and going home. That's what he did. So, you know what I mean? I don't want no cornerbacks like that. I want guys with a short memory. And every time you see Diggs, even if he gives up a play, he's coming right back at you. He's not sulking. He's coming back. And he's even said it like, okay, you got me that last play, but I'm going to get you this play. And that's the type of mentality we had. And he's the best playmaking corner we have on the team. And he is, like Sky said, he is one of the main building blocks for the future. You can at least look at him and say, we have one cornerback.
Got one.
But I would say that's an issue, a big issue for me. Because how do you build a football team? I think Law knows where I'm going with this. You build inside out, don't you?
Yep, inside out.
Right up the middle.
Yep.
Where are they weakest?
That's where we're weakest at.
Right up the middle.
They better draft something, or they better make. That's why I said before the trade deadline, would you guys agree give up a 2nd and a 5th for Quentin Williams?
That would have been amazing because you could build around him.
2nd and the 5th,
and he got like 4 sacks already in 7 games. He's finally healthy.
Quentin was a top 10 player coming out of that draft for a reason. He hasn't showed that he wasn't. I guess if the rumors were true that he was on a block, I think maybe they know that Adam Gase is gone and they're just trying to get more pieces. I don't know, but they didn't trade him, so maybe those rumors, those reports were not accurate.
Yeah, I saw a report. It was this afternoon. Said he was never on the block,
which makes sense. The dude is not like it was random.
Stupid as hell if you get rid of him.
What? Because it was out there. Yes.
Yeah. When
it came out, I said all I did was say yes.
I thought it was a little believable because it's Adam Gase, right? So I thought maybe. I mean, but how often have we heard?
Yeah, but it's Joe Douglas, not Adam Gase. I figured that Adam Gase was getting fired, so Joe was just like, okay, we're going to fire sale. let's get a new
Get rid of
coach,
everybody. Yep.
and let the coach pick his team. That's what I had thought, but it's coming to fruition that Joe ain't stupid.
Right.
Joe Douglas is not dumb. He got a nice haul for Jamal Adams, right? And he's held on to Quentin Williams. Joe Douglas.
And he's about to get Trevor Lawrence.
Probably get Trevor, and he's about to get rid of Adam Gase. So they plucked him over there from Philly, and he has not. I don't think he's been a bad GM. Obviously, you can say 0-6. You're like, what? What do you mean? But he inherited a terrible team. I don't
And
think
then he hired Adam Gase. I mean,
did he hire? I thought that was last year. Joe got.
No, you're right. You're right.
Gase was already there, and so was Sam Darnold. So it's not. He had no control over that. Well, he could have fired Gase immediately, but.
He could have, but
Nonetheless,
can we say Mike McCarthy inherited a terrible team?
Absolutely not. Mike McCarthy had inherited an unfortunate injury-riddled squad that he didn't know was going to be like this. Listen, I know there's a lot of people that are ready to get rid of him. I'm not. Just because somebody pissed me off, it's like if my girlfriend pissed me off, I don't want to leave her. She just pisses me off right now. Mike McCarthy pisses me off sometimes with some of the stuff he says, but context matters. That is huge on my channel.
Let me just say this. When my wife pisses me off, I get rid of her. I've had 2 divorces, okay? I got rid of both of them. Get out of here.
Okay, Stanley from the office.
No, so let's talk about, I wanted to talk about this. Mike Nolan, right? Do anybody think he's doing a good job?
No.
Does anybody think he should return?
No. I said you can fire him now. What does it hurt?
Exactly. It ain't going to hurt nothing. Here's my question. Where do you go next year?
What do you mean, at DC?
Yeah, DC.
Take your pick. Take your pick.
George Edwards is going to be it.
You know where I go?
I want a young, aggressive guy. I don't want no old motherfucker.
How about this? Yeah. The defense last year. Did y'all have a problem with the defense? I mean, obviously it didn't create turnovers. Don't get me wrong.
Where you going with this?
You gonna say Chris?
How about Dan Quinn?
Oh no! I like that. I
wouldn't mind Dan Quinn.
I like that.
Dan Quinn. He's still young enough, and Dan Quinn. The last time he was running defense, he had the #1 overall defense. I'm talking yards, points, turnovers.
I think so. Your combo package, you bring Dan Quinn and Chris Richard back in the house.
Chris getting a head coach. Chris is going to be a head coach, guys. Get ready.
Once Stephen
I think
Jones
he'd be better to walk around there.
Listen, once Stephen Jones seen his ass run on the field, you know it's over.
Somebody said Monty Kiffin. Y'all want me to do it again? Here come Monty Kiffin.
Monty Kiffin.
Hey, Cub, when he finished, man, just elaborate on your point with Quinn again, man, so that everybody can know. But he finna do that.
For sure, man.
Oh my goodness.
He said, "Wake up, 44 and 5."
You awake, man?
You awake, coach.
Yeah.
Well, break down your point with Quinn.
But Dan Quinn, because the personnel from last year is largely still in-house. I mean, for the most part, you have the personnel. It's essentially is the same thing that Chris Richard was running. So why not bring in Dan Quinn? And the reason I say Dan Quinn is because he was the predecessor to Chris Richard. How much of Chris Richard's success was directly because of Dan Quinn?
Oh, okay. I get where he's coming from.
Could be. I mean, but Chris Richard is a respected
and I'm not saying he's a slouch.
DB coach.
Right.
Obviously if you draft Earl Thomas, it's Earl Thomas. However, we tend to forget, Brandon Browner is not a high drafted guy. Maxwell wasn't a high drafted guy. Richard Sherman wasn't a high drafted guy. Cam Chancellor wasn't a high drafted guy. Those guys were middle to late to undrafted free agents that all played
I think Sherman was a fifth.
And so and I want to say so was Cam. And those guys developed under Chris Richard's tutelage to be Hall of Fame worthy in regards to the top 2 guys from the Legion of Boom. And then but what I thought was more impressive than developing Earl Thomas and even Sherman. I thought Sherman is so smart. He just didn't have the supreme physical tools. But I thought the work that he did with Cam Chancellor, Brandon Browner, and Maxwell when all those guys were there, I thought was great as a DB coach.
For a big contract.
Yeah. So I think he's respected there. But I think we're getting off track. Dan Quinn, I think, will be a phenomenal hire because you can stick to a scheme. I was excited, not going to lie, Pat, about the whole hybrid thing because I was like, okay, variety. Variety. But maybe maybe it was like a kid who doesn't get that much candy. Then he goes to a party and it's all this candy there. And you don't even know where to go. Like, what do I eat? And as a fan, I'm like, yes. What do I eat? And then you eat it all. And now your teeth is all hurt. Your stomach is swelling. Like, damn, it's too much. It's just too much. There's too much going on here, Mike Nolan. Maybe all they needed to do was just add a little bit more variety within the scheme. And they already, they already have the 4-3 personnel. So if we're not going to go full 3-4, then yes, bring me in a 4-3 coach.
I just don't understand how they were trying to really spin it with COVID. You didn't have a camp, and you said like you said, Sky. I was feeling it with the change, but it's like, how is that really going to happen to 3-4 in 30 days?
I think all the hire came right before the COVID happened, though.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that the defense was put at a disadvantage when you hear we're going to keep Kellen Moore and Doug Nussmeier for the continuity? But then you look on the defensive side and like, but screw those guys because you're bringing in a whole new staff?
No, I don't. Because I feel like quarterback is so much more important in that aspect.
Right.
Like, I get that. I get why you bring him. I get that. Right? He's still a young quarterback. Granted, he's a young veteran, but he's a young quarterback still at the end of the day. And he just came off a career year with this offensive coordinator. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
What career year did anybody on defense come off of?
I mean, how many sunglasses did $54.7?
Yeah,
I mean, how many Hot Boy shirts?
Well, technically, somebody will say Jalen. Jalen had a career year. He went to the Pro Bowl. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He also was like top 5 in tackles, man.
Come on.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that's your career year. But nonetheless, I think everybody in Cowboys Nation welcome a change defensively. Yeah. I don't think everybody in Cowboys Nation was happy at the coordinator that was selected.
That is nepotism at its finest.
Yeah. So what do you want to do, Law? 3-4, 4-3?
Let's get back to the 4-3. That's where all our guys at, right?
Hard to disagree, but unless you keep.
I just want aggressive, man. Like when we saw the blitzes from Mike Nolan in that game, that excites me because when you're putting pressure, like when he sent the Donovan Wilson, when he sent in some linebackers, that's exciting to me. That's what we missed when he sent the LVE on the delayed blitz, and even though it could have been a wreck play, but the fact that he sent a LVE. Mike Nolan hasn't been perfect, and I said, you can get rid of him too. But I did like how he was sending some blitzes and going after Carson and saying Carson is a turnover-prone quarterback, so let's attack him and make him turn the ball over, and that's what he did. So I'll say if you're gonna keep Mike Nolan, I'll say that's a positive from me from Mike Nolan. I did see a little bit more aggressiveness as far as the blitzing and attacking the quarterback, and maybe that can happen next week. I mean, Sunday, maybe.
Where I would go if we're going to stay in this 3-4 thing, which I have nothing to. I like 3-4 defense. I do. Where I would go is I'll go say, hey, Pittsburgh, let me holler at a couple of y'all assistants. Let me holler at y'all couple of y'all assistants to see what y'all doing over there. See if we get you in the building for, as Law would say, a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And let us know what you could do over here, because I love the way the Steelers have rebuilt that defense over the last few years. They have brought back the Blitzburg stuff. They have, and they've added a modernization to it. It's like it's similar to Dick LeBeau with just a little bit more creativity from their cornerbacks. One of their cornerbacks has like 3.5 sacks. So get ready for that defense to just kill us. But nonetheless, they're about to play it. That's another thing too. They're about to play that defense, so they're going to see it firsthand. So if you want to stick to the 3-4 thing, I would say, hey, let me go holler at Pittsburgh and see if I can get somebody from over there, and then truly start drafting to be a 3-4 defense.
Now you can overhaul it in a year.
Yeah.
What's Wade Phillips doing?
I mean, that's what I said. That's what I said.
You want to be a consultant?
I mean,
wait.
My thing is, you can transition into that defense within 1 year. Bill Parcells came over, and the first thing he said is, "We're going to a 3-4." and he went right to the draft. He got linebackers. He said, I'm building this defense for the 3-4 scheme, and this is what we're going to be. And he went and got those type of players, and you saw how it happened. We need to get a coach like that says, hey, I want the 3-4, and these are the guys that I'm going to get to implement. Because remember how they said, well, we ain't going to just have a scheme. We're going to put the players in the scheme. I ain't seen all that stuff this year. I ain't seen all that.
Well, Law, you know what it showed me? It showed me we got a lot of dumb players.
Right.
Seriously.
My goodness.
Man's got a point.
Hero ball over there.
Before we get out of here, Pat, I can't let you go without some draft talk, man. I know you were the draft. Weren't you the draft guy on Vine?
Yeah, that was like my thing, and then
Vine
Twitter took it down.
Yeah, Vine disappeared.
Yeah, actually, the NFL took it down a lot of my stuff, and that's why I think Vine got killed.
Yeah,
don't be hating.
I wasn't making any money off of it. I was just showing people what I was looking at.
We know the NFL Illuminati.
Trust.
Yeah. We know all about the NFL Illuminati, big dog.
And we love you. And we love you.
We love you, NFL. We ain't saying nothing.
I love you.
We didn't say nothing. You didn't hear us say nothing on this.
Keep doing your job. Shout out to Roger Goodell.
Shout out to Roger Goodell. Shout out to the league.
Roger Goodell got a vendetta against you, boy.
Yeah, you in trouble. I got no
catch.
NFL,
on the ground.
I love you.
Oh, my goodness. But shout out to Roger Goodell in the NFL. They the best thing cooking, baby. Yeah. But what's your thoughts on
James.
Wade? Wade, what's the defensive back Wade and Patrick Surtain and all those guys? Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Scott.
I'll ask James after. This is about the draft. This is about something else. Go ahead.
What's your thoughts on those DBs? Or are you a defensive tackle guy? Or are you with the philosophy? I'm gonna throw a whole bunch of questions with you.
I see.
I'm just gonna get it out. Or are you with the guy? Are you with the thoughts of like, okay, I'm gonna tag Dak Prescott, and I'm gonna try to figure this thing out and trade up or trade back. What are your thoughts on everything with that? Go ahead.
I have said this, and I've caught heat for it. I think if you have a chance to get Trevor Lawrence, you should. And not having anything to do with Dak Prescott. And the reason I say this is next year you're looking at possibly... He's 70...
Talk about Pat.
77 million.
Talk about Pat. That I am. That was a joke. That was a joke right there. When I pressed that button, that means the show was over. So once you said Trevor Lawrence, I had to.
Yes.
I'll let you finish. I had to Kanye West you wrong.
But the reason why I say that is because 37 million is if you tag Dak, and you're looking at about a $40 million deficit than we had this year. So that's 77 million right off the jump. That's why I could see that possibility, but I think you hold the pick for ransom. You're like, I want 3 ones, I want a 2 this year, I want a 2 next year, I want a 3 next year. You get like 6-7 picks out of that thing.
Thank you.
Somebody's gonna buy. Trust me. But yeah, I know I'm a trade down guy. I'd love to get Penei Sewell, offensive tackle, Oregon.
What?
And the reason I say that is I worry about Terence Smith. He's got the back. He's got the neck. Do I think he's going to play next year? I don't know. Could he pull a Travis Frederick? That's my worry.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't like it, Pat.
I get that. But if you trade down and get Shaun Wade, I'd be really excited.
Defense.
But you sound like Stephen Jones. I think that would be the move that Stephen Jones would do. The safe, the comfortable, the conservative pick.
Keep the offense.
The offense.
You know how sick I'd be, man? You just named 2 offensive players you'd take. I just throw one up right now.
Because I don't believe La'el Collins is going to play next year. Watch. And I hate to put that out there like that.
Okay, all right, still. So Shaun Wade, you take that guy?
So give me the blue chip defender. I don't give a damn at what position at this point. If you picking number 6, number 8, number 9, whatever, because you traded down, I don't give a damn. We need them all, right? Need a corner, need a safety, we need a backer,
right.
We need a DT.
I take.
Need it all.
How about Trevon Diggs' teammate Patrick Surtain?
Now we're talking again. We're warming up here. Now we firing up.
Now we have it, right?
I'm very much in that. If you're getting lower in the first round, then I start looking at a possibility of a Marvin Wilson, Florida State defensive tackle.
Yeah, I'm about to say, let the folks know, because not everybody knows the players you're rattling off. So kind of just
right. Yeah, so Sean Wade, Ohio State. He's a nickel corner. He's a guy. He kind of reminds me the way that he plays, and this is not a shot at him at all because obviously he's way better than this guy, but he reminds me a little bit of Orlando Scandrick, the way that he will blitz from that nickel, and he will get there fast. I've seen him. I saw him against, I think it was Clemson last year in the bowl game, from the right hash with his back towards the quarterback, turn around and get and blitz into that gap between, I think it was the C gap, and he blitz and he still gets to Trevor Lawrence. That's how quickly, and he's on the complete other hash.
Yeah.
So he's a guy that I'm looking at that I think you could do it. Like I said, Marvin, I don't like a Micah Parsons because I don't think you want to take.
Nobody wants to take a linebacker that high. I get it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm partial to Micah. That's my little big young boy. He big as hell. But
I think he's great. I think he does everything great. I just don't think that this team's going to look at a linebacker
at that point,
especially in the first round.
Especially with LVE and Jalen. That's very true. Very true.
Yeah. So I worry about that. But when I'm looking at these guys, a J.C. Horn. If he sounds familiar, that's Joe Horn's son. He's the safety.
Yeah. Did you say
safety?
Okay, J.C. Horn. Okay.
Yeah, he's Joe Horn's son. Former wide
Not
receiver.
Jason Sehorn, but okay.
I thought you said Sehorn.
No. JC. It's J.C. Horn. Safety at South Carolina. Another guy. So you're hearing some of these names like Patrick Surtain. If you recognize that, obviously that's his son.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the corners. I'm looking at safety a lot. There's a guy I like a little bit later that sounds like a Blue Star special. And if you know
where my trenches at, man? Where my trenches at, man?
That's what I'm talking about, Marvin Wilson, man.
I'm with that.
Okay.
How about Andre Cisco out of Syracuse? He just tore his ACL, so he's a Blue Star special.
Position for
second round pick.
That
safety.
Safety. Cisco.
Are y'all only defense? Are you only picking defense?
I'm always
I have no care for the offensive side.
I'm always team defense. We need to build this defense. We need a dog in that middle. We need a dog. We need somebody that's in that middle that's commanding double teams, that's wrecking up that middle, blowing it up. I mean, the last guy that was halfway semblance was David Irvin, but he wasn't like the guy, but with that ability we saw when you slid David Irvin in the middle, how much better it made that defense.
Well, this is why we need to be defense, because we put so much capital on the offensive side of the ball for the last 10 years, Pat. So much over there that yes, it has worked, right? It obviously has worked. And I'm not saying I'm not partial to offensive side of the ball. But we have ignored, we just talked about it, since 1991, the last time I took a DT.
Right.
Since 2003, since the last time I took a safety in the first round. Right? Now, I'm not talking about Byron Jones either. He's a cornerback. We see he's a cornerback.
Right.
The linebackers that they've taken, Jalen Smith, LVE. Well, Jalen wasn't even a first round pick. LVE worked out for 1 year. Other than that, it's like, So we got a different mind now in the front office in regards to defense and Mike Nolan as a coaching staff. Will he be around? Who knows? I guess it depends the type of coach we get. But I feel like start building your defense through the draft, because you look around the league, the core players of really, really good defenses that are really good consistently are built through the draft. They're built through the draft. They make a quality trade or two, and they sign a prominent free agent or two. They don't just, that's why the whole draft a quarterback, dump Dak Prescott, save $40 million and spend $150,000 million in free agency on defense does not work. Ask the New York Giants. It worked for 1 year for them, barely, but it did. That's not how you build a defense. You don't build a defense by dumping $200 million into it. Build the defense by getting a plethora of young players on 4 or 5 year deals that are playing at a high level. TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, Bud Dupree, Hargrave, who just went to the Steelers, and so forth and so on, or the Eagles, and so forth and so on over there in Pittsburgh, who we're about to see. We're about to see that exact that exact philosophy next Sunday. So pour as much as you can into the defense until it makes sense to draft offense. I get Tyron Smith. Will I be mad if they draft the tackle in the first round? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be happy. But if they do it, I would get it. And to me, if they do it, guys, one or two things.
Yeah,
he better start.
Well, one or two things. Tyron retired, or they know something that they're not telling us about him. Right. So if Tyron retires, left tackle probably shoots right up the. Now I'm gonna be so pissed.
So let me ask y'all. So all three of y'all saying that we tag Dak Prescott or we give him the $40 million, right? Which one are we doing?
Oh, I think they'll tag him.
They tag him.
Definitely tagging him. I don't know if they're even going to sign him to a long-term deal though, for real.
Well, tag with the option to trade or
that's what they're going to do.
Tag and trade. Okay.
I want to tag.
I wouldn't do that.
I want to tag. I want to tag and keep.
I
don't even want to tag. Right? I just want to freaking sign. But I don't trust them Joneses, dog. And just what Patrick said, if Dallas is 2-14 and there's a quarterback right there, all that love fest that they have for Dak Prescott, I don't believe none of it.
I'm not with the tag. I personally think you'll get more, and this has nothing to do with Dak. Okay, people are screaming tag and trade. Not a single quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, has ever been tagged and traded. You know why? Because you have to take on the quarterback and then extend them, and you sign them to that deal. I don't think I just don't know that. So you're giving up a ton of capital, number one,
right?
And then you have to sign them. Most people will just hit free agency, and then I'll sign you in free agency, and I'll keep my draft capital and build around you. Why on earth would I give up a second, or 5-6 picks, whatever, because you're trying to get a ransom to get my quarterback only to not be able to build around him for 2 years through the draft? That doesn't make any sense, right? Doesn't make any sense. So if they're going to tag Dak Prescott, it's going to be because they know this is going to be a long, drawn out negotiation process, or they won't tag him at all if they get the first or second pick, and they will just go with Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or whoever the hell quarterback is the flavor of the month.
I can see it.
Where do you see it?
Would not shock me that they do that.
I see them. I can see them drafting a quarterback, like you said, like Sky said. Man, this is we can't never have not a distraction in Dallas, right?
It's not about getting over it, because he's saying if they get top 3, they're taking a QB dog. Get over it. It's not about getting over it. We're talking about scenarios.
Business. Right.
Scenarios. You're acting like I'm disagreeing with you, Jamie. If we get a top 3 pick, all of us up here, I don't know if Pat agrees, we all believe they're going to go the cheap route and take the rookie quarterback, and they're not going to sign Dak. If they do, I'll be shocked.
I'll be shocked. You know what? It just hit me like a sack of bricks right now. It could be just like the Colts situation when they had Andrew Luck they had Andrew Luck or what's the guy, RG3, and I think what's his name, Peyton Manning. He was going through his neck situation. He could have came back, right? But they said,
but a neck and an ankle, and he was totally different.
I'm talking about from the business aspect of it. I'm not saying that Dak Prescott can never play again, but I'm saying that the way they handle it, they could have just said, okay, we trust Peyton Manning, he can get us back. No. Big defense.
I think you're kind of halfway there in the sense of
because he sat out a whole year.
You're halfway there in the sense of. You got a veteran You got a veteran quarterback in Peyton, a veteran quarterback in Dak, and then you potentially have a top pick in the Cowboys. Here's the difference. Peyton Manning was like a 14-year veteran coming off of a neck injury, and it was time to start drafting for your future. Dak Prescott is coming off a damn broken ankle, okay?
True.
And he's in his prime, not even 30 yet. So I think the comparisons stop at veteran quarterback, top pick, potentially top pick. But I kind of get what you're saying. I just think that this is a slightly different scenario because Peyton Manning it was the end of his career. He had 2 years left, literally. That was it. That was it.
If Stephen Jones is crying about we need to build this team, we need to keep the parts, we need to be able to function with everybody. What in the hell makes me think he's going to sign a Dak Prescott now if he keeps on talking about we need working parts and we got all this, man, you can't never, instead of us sitting here talking about what picks we could get to build around our quarterback because the Joneses were bullheaded and didn't sign him, Now they're talking about this scenario with Dak Prescott. Like I said, it's a lot of business that the Joneses, the team comebacks and eat, because they are the ones that at the end of the day are making these final decisions on these business moves as far as contracts and players. When we keep going around in the same circle, we have to always look at the top, because it damn sure ain't these coaches making any damn decisions around here.
There's this stigma out there, Pat, that if you were to sign your quarterback, you won't have any money. You a contract guy, right? A little bit too, right? You know the contract.
Yeah.
You know the basics then.
Yeah.
So you know how you can sign someone year one and they're not going to cost you the full salary.
Yeah. So you convert that
Mm-hmm.
to roster bonuses, things like that, so that they don't count against you in the first year. And when you re-sign a guy, and you push that money down the road, you use the credit card, so to speak. You push that down the road. Mm-hmm. That's the way to get around it. But this whole, and Stephen Jones talking about you can't put this much money towards a quarterback.
It's goofy.
If you want to win, you do.
It's absolutely goofy.
But here's the thing, and I kind of agree with you that I think they're going to try and make this an excuse, right?
Oh, for sure.
I think we know we're going to hear it. Salary cap is a myth.
It's coming.
Salary cap is a myth.
I'm with you. We can
they
just
move these money to trigger this deal, trigger that deal. We'll move this down over here, moving this over here. I mean, if you look at it right now, they got $25 million under the cap right now.
And we got a ton of dudes coming off the books next year, the 1 year deals. But here's the funny thing. So many people were coming at the Rams hard. And I laughed. I said, y'all don't even see what's happening over there in I'm about to say St. Louis, in LA. These dudes are magnificent at managing this cap thing. People thought, they in cap hell now because they traded for this person and signed this person and signed Jared Goff and da-da-da. No, they're not. No, they're not. They understand how to work it, how to make the cap work for them. Everyone threw them away last year when they went 9-7, by the way, after they signed, Jared Goff and what have you. They still have a very good team. They were able to pay Jalen Ramsey. They traded for Jalen and then signed him to an extension. That's what I mean. Jalen Ramsey, traded, extended. Minka Fitzpatrick likely going to get traded, extended. Yannick Ngakoue is likely going to get traded and extended. Marcus Peter, traded, extended. Like, that is the way to go about it. And if they see this now, forward-thinking, progressive franchises understand this is the way to go. If I'm going to, because you can't spend $200 million in free agency. So if I'm going to spend money on a quality guy, let me go find a team that's willing to get rid of a quality young player still in his rookie contract and then extend them. Because like you said, you can push the money down. So we just got to stop thinking in this antiquated ways in our front office and stop being reactionary and start being progressive.
Yeah.
I like that.
That was good stuff.
Oh, man.
That was real good.
I ain't mean to go on a tangent, but y'all know they know how I get.
That was good. That was a good professional one. I yell, you don't.
But I think you're right. And it's funny, in the casual fan, they think that when they hear a number, that it's like,
yes,
that's a concrete number.
40 million.
Oh my God.
That's the one. 40 million.
And I'm sitting there like, he's never gonna see 40 million.
Yeah.
No, I mean there's so many stipulations and triggers in these deals that they're never gonna reach. If you go to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row, you'll get this. But nobody's going to Super Bowl 3 years in a row.
Jim Kelly about all the time.
Right, but that's
Kelly.
the thing. Like they're never gonna see that, and the thing that drives me nuts the most is the conversation about player worth.
Oh my goodness.
Is this player worth $40 million? Then that's the question, right? Is Dak worth $40 million? I don't care, because that's what he's going to get. It's not a worth thing. It's a market thing.
We're being real, Law. Isn't most of these players overpaid in the sense of life and reality? like they're playing a game to get paid $100 million. Like in a sense, yes, they're all overpaid. Okay, but in the arena of football, in just their arena, a lot of these players are worth it. The quarterback position is one of them. Yeah. How we can sit here and watch this mess right now and not come away with that thinking that the quarterback position is one of them and that this guy is up there is mind-boggling.
Can we give an MVP trophy to a guy who didn't play?
I'm sure it can.
Because
to this team at least.
Yeah, at least because what I'm seeing right now is a football team that has no heart because their heart broke his leg. And so, yeah, I say give him the 40. I mean, I am on sign Dak, right? I don't want to trade, or I don't want to try to get rid of him and take the young quarterback because, like y'all have said time and time again, I don't trust this. I don't, trust this front office to do the right thing and build around you. I didn't see it with Tony. I didn't see it with Dak. I'm not going to see it with the new guy. So go ahead and pay Dak because he is the diaper. He catches all the crap. So I say go that way. You build that defense, like you said. You got to build a defense. We've spent so much time on the offense, much like Sky said. So let's build a defense, and I think you start with a safety. I think that's where you got to start. You need to build in the trenches. Don't get me wrong, you do. But it's time they got a safety, and I don't care who it is.
Or you can find a good run stopper. You can find a good run stopper in the 4th round. Yeah, you can. You just have to really be on that stuff because we've seen defensive tackles in the 3rd, 4th rounds be good. So it's not like it's out of the ordinary for you to find a guy in that round. But you really just have to dedicate it because when the Cowboys, like I said, 2015 is where in my heart where I felt like they were like, okay, let's go defense, but let's keep it real. When they had some kind of a little bit of defensive mindset of when they were going in the draft, they've been bust.
Yeah. True that.
And the one guy that we had was a 1st rounder besides LVE is gone, Byron Jones.
Yeah. Hey, and let me clear this up for everybody that's watching on what Con is saying. If we have the 4th overall draft pick and he's saying start with a safety, of course, he's not saying draft the safety with the 4th overall. But what he's saying is that probably, and I'm not trying to speak for you, but if we do that, maybe you trade back, right?
Yeah.
You let somebody else get that spot. Somebody want that pick.
Somebody going to want Justin Fields.
Because here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing. The quarterback, to me, is the only position that people are going to move up for. I'm not saying only, but 9 times out of 10,
you're probably right.
They're moving up for quarterback. Okay, so you're talking about Trevor Lawrence, talking about Justin Fields, you're talking about Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. Those are some of the names you're hearing right now. Somebody's going to move up for them, and that's when you go down, you pick up those picks, you pick up another one. Because let me just say, there's so many holes in this defense right now. You cannot fix this defense in one offseason.
No, but you can pick it where you get 15 picks. That's where you can start.
You have to build the defense through the draft.
But quality picks, not multiple 6th and 7th picks and 5th picks.
Right.
Quality. That's what I want to.
Remember who we got drafting though, Law? Player personnel.
I would say top 100 picks. You need as many top 100 picks as you can get. So that's your first 3 rounds, essentially 2.5. I guess about 3.
So
but, that's where I'm at.
I don't want to give away my off-season stuff, but I wouldn't draft the safety high because guess what? I won't have a need to if they do what I want to do in free agency. I'm gonna go spend that money on Justin Simmons. I think Justin Simmons is.
I knew it was coming.
I just think he's a stud. I think he's one of the best safeties in the entire National Football League. He's a playmaker. He can do it all. He's a leader back there. I just think Justin Simmons can come in here and solidify that position for the next 5 years, and then I'm gonna build my team through the trenches or at cornerback, depending on who the best is the best in the top 10. After you trade down, if you do trade down, if you don't, then take whoever you take right there. But I do think we need a safety, but I don't know. You tell me, Pat. I mean, there's safeties out there, right? But go get me Justin Simmons. But again, we're talking about Stephen Jones.
Right. No, say let's, just for conversation's sake, you do get him, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now, what else do you need? I need a corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
I look at cornerback. I look in the trenches. Obviously, I'm looking defensive tackle because I think I have Randy Gregory. I think I know what I'm getting out of him, as long as Goodell doesn't Goodell.
Right.
So I got Randy Gregory. I got Aldon Smith. I have Bradley and I. Maybe he's got something. I don't know. They won't play him, but he's in the plans. You have Tank. You got to fix the middle. So we're talking about
ET.
A second, third year Kristen Hill and the development second year.
I really
Gallimore,
wanted
right?
DT bad, if y'all can't tell. That's why I said go get me a safety in free agency. Because I want a stud defensive tackle in the middle. That's why I was willing to trade.
That can stop, run, and pass rush.
Yeah, give me the stud. That's why I was willing to trade for Quinnen, if it was true. But it's not. So
It's not.
nonetheless.
I like what Javon Kinlaw is doing right now for the 49ers. I heard that he's having a good year, so decent year, and he's doing developing. So
the 49ers can develop some damn interior linemen, boy. Oof. Yes, they can. Hey, Austin Edwards, shout out to you, Austin. He said, DC Network, do you realize the last time we won a Super Bowl was with the number 1 pick, Troy Aikman, on a rookie deal? Austin Edwards, do you realize that was pre-free agency?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to you.
Do you realize that was after wasn't that the Herschel Walker trade where they collected like
80,000 picks?
Yeah, I mean.
And what did they use a lot of?
I was going to say how old. I didn't know how old
defense.
he was. I didn't know how old he was, but that Troy Aikman, if they never made the Herschel Walker deal and never drafted the way they drafted, number one, it didn't have nothing to do with a rookie deal. First of all, so that's number one. Number two, love Troy Aikman, but the damn team was loaded. Okay,
they weren't when he got there. But
no, because they draft Jimmy is what I'm getting at.
Yes.
They drafted well. So you need a good team around any
Jimmy drafted well. Say that again, Scott. Say it again, Scott. Jimmy drafted well. Jimmy drafted well. And I'm going to say it again. In his contract, he said, I have full control of player personnel. Because you know what, Jerry? I'm looking at you, and I feel like you like putting your fingers in this stuff. So before I come over here, you signed this 10-year deal. I want full control of player personnel on all personnel of player moves. So nothing goes in and out this door. And just like I said, when I bring up John Gruden, they brought Mike Mayock in. Mike Mayock was never a general manager, right? He was never a general manager, but why did they hire him? Because he was a football guy. They put him at general manager. They put him at football guy. Look at John Gruden's record since he's come over there. It's out of the booth after 10 years. They were 4-12 his first year, 7-9 his second year, and the third year, they're 4-3.
Yeah, they're on the up.
They're on the up, and they gave the coach the power because he's like him and Mayock work together on that football stuff. And look what's happened in that short time. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're right, man. A lot of great points flying around here from all angles, and even some in the chat. Edwards followed up with, their point is they put everything around the QB while not paying the QB. Edwards, Austin, there was no free agency. There was no outlandish contract. We cannot compare that era to this era. We got to stop. I do question, how old are you, Austin? And then if you are old enough, you should know that. If not, I would suggest just kind of going back and researching the history. You can't. We have to stop trying to compare monies to that era. And just that franchise at that point, it was so, I mean, come on, guys. We're talking about the Herschel Walker trade. We're talking about no cap, so you can go sign a Deion Sanders, you know what I'm saying, with no, because you have the most money in Jerry Jones, right? We're talking about they traded for Charles Haley. I mean, it's just come on.
And it was no Cotterman.
They drafted 3 Hall of Famers, fam.
Troy Aikman was never comfortable either. Hey, Big A James, was Troy Aikman comfortable? He was never comfortable. So it's a different area.
Even when Troy Aikman retired, what did he say why he retired? He said, I could have kept playing. He said, I still felt I could play. But here was the but when he said it on his way out. I didn't like what was going on up top, and I wasn't going out like that because I don't feel like they were building the team for the future. So I wasn't going to go through that and tarnish what he felt. So he said, that's why I retired. He felt he could still play, but the front office wasn't doing their job as far as drafting and things of that nature. He said, so I'm out.
and the Eagles gave him an offer. And I'm glad that he didn't take that out. Can you imagine? I said,
Troy
oh,
Aikman playing for the Eagles. Thank you, Jesus. You didn't do
thank
that,
you,
Troy.
God.
Ugh, that'd have been
In that documentary.
that'd have been extremely worse than Emmett going to play for the
Yeah,
Cardinals.
that'd have been because the Cardinals were nobody to us.
Nobody care about you.
Cardinals.
Just trying to stretch
to
that
the
record.
Eagles, bro.
Oh,
That's just like when Cedric Thornton and what's his name came over. Nolan Carroll came over from the Eagles. Blech, 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 blech. I was glad when they got cut. Blech, 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 blech.
oh my goodness.
We don't want no Eagles players. Don't bring them over here. We don't want y'all. We'll take everybody in free agency except from you Eagles and maybe you Redskins. But you know what? Right now, you Eagles make me mad. We ain't taking. We don't want your players, Eagles. That's the one team I don't want none of your players. Stay away from us.
I might take some of that front seven for Washington.
Yeah. I'll take all their first.
And where did they invest at? There are a lot of high draft picks.
A lot of high draft picks.
And they got one of the best. I think, if I'm not mistaken, when I last looked, one of the better pass defenses. It ain't because they got this amazing secondary, but their front seven is just nasty. Just nasty, man. We'll give me some guys like that, man. All right, we're going to head up out of here. Just reading through the chat here. Anybody, any comments y'all want to read off real quick before we go?
Let me give a shout out to Asmodeus, man. I really appreciate you for making the donation. Yeah, Asmodeus.
Oh, I finally got super chat back. I waited too late, but I finally got super chat back. So yeah, that's back open.
Yeah, appreciate y'all, man. Y'all make sure y'all go over Skywalker page over there and make the donation to help elevate the nation. Yeah, just sub. And Big Game James over there. Appreciate y'all.
Building this thing back up. Yes, sir. Go ahead, James.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know, man. Just do the right thing, Joneses. I know y'all won't, but I'm just gonna ask you again. Do the right thing. I'm like the movie. Do the right thing. Do the right. This is the movie. We're looking right at you. Do the right thing, Joneses. Because you ain't did the right thing. If you put Jimmy Johnson in that ring of honor, it's gonna break that curse. I promise you. Just do it, man. If you really want to break the curse, Jerry, just do it. It will break it. I know you don't want to believe it. It's gonna break it, man.
How petty is that, Pat? That's so damn petty, dog. He's the sole responsibility. Your ass as an owner can brag about 3 Super Bowls, and he not in the ring of honor. That's the most pettiest shit ever, fam.
It's a curse, dog.
Why do you think Troy Aikman's gonna be inducting or introducing?
I don't even think Troy fooled with Jerry for real like that.
No. That's what I'm saying. Troy is he's introducing Jimmy into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Yeah. Oh wow.
You know, and Jerry and Jimmy were together at Arkansas when they won that national championship. You think they were boys?
Nah, I don't think they was boys.
Not what Jimmy said. They was more like they was roommates because of their names. And they was never boys like that. That story was overhyped and overblown. Jimmy said so. We was in the same because our last names.
Right.
Okay. We had the same last names. That's why we was roommates.
Johnson and Jones. So it was alphabetical order.
Oh, you know it was a joke because you see how they act now. They won't even be in the same room together.
It's crazy, man.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. But if you hear a lot of stuff, and even when you go back, when I read the whole documentary over, it's crazy because I know Jimmy had an ego. I ain't faulting him. I know he had a crazy ego.
Not?
How could he not when he came from places where he was a winner? And the whole time, Jerry wanted to have that credit. And it's right now. Pat, I want to ask you this, just like when he hired Jason Garrett, don't you think he hired Garrett because he wanted to have that credit saying, I brought this young guy in here. I made this happen. He wants to say, I did this. It's that Frank Sinatra. I did this my way. He just had a he just said the buck stops with me. Why do you have to keep?
Why do you think Jason Garrett was here so long? It wasn't because he was a great coach.
But
he was hoping that he was going to be right.
Get the credit. Who would have been the first? If Jason Garrett would have won some, who the first person you think would have been out there sticking out their damn chest?
I want me some glory hole.
Him.
Thank you.
Him.
Yep.
Yeah.
He'd have been right out there. Yeah, that's the whole reason. It's the buddy system. It's the relationships, and it's still happening just with the players. Any other team, or I don't say any other team, but a lot of look at this for a second. Desmond Kings are getting moved. Quan Alexander, who had so much promise. They signed him. They said, well, not working out because he's getting hurt, yada, yada. He's getting moved, right? You got Marcus Peters getting moved. Like I said, all these other players that get moved. But we keeping on the dudes that just, it ain't it, fam. It ain't it. It is okay to admit you wrong. Jerry has a very hard time admitting he is wrong, and with coaches or with players. He really does. Oh, I don't care about Tyler Patman. I don't really care about Darryl Worley. That ain't cost me nothing. Jalen Smith though, ooh, I can't be wrong here. I can't be wrong. Ezekiel Elliott, I can't be wrong here. I drafted him 4th overall. He's got me bent over. I can't now not sign him. Damn it! I was hoping he wasn't gonna hold out. Now I gotta pay him because I can't be wrong. Right? And we can go on and go on. Miles Austin, I can't be wrong. Roy Williams, I can't be wrong. Marion Barber, Jay Ratliff, Ken Hamlin. There's just so many contracts that Jerry did that was inexplicable that he didn't get out of because he can't be wrong. Jerry, just admit it, fam. You've been wrong for 25 years. Time to let somebody else be right.
I don't like your attitude.
I don't like your attitude.
With that said, Pat, go ahead with your parting shots.
Oh, goodness.
Well, man, it's going to be a tough one on Sunday. I'm just praying that our quarterback makes it out healthy because it's going to be a rough one.
Brian, let's all bow our heads and say a prayer for Cooper Rush.
Gilbert, baby.
Because Terence Steele is still out there. Cooper Rush ain't never played a game in his life, and he got to go up against the most blitz-happy team with T.J. Watt.
Hey, will you please talk to your second cousin? Give him a prep talk. Something.
Dog.
Fourth, ninth.
No, he cousin-in-law. Cousin-in-law.
He been downgraded.
You that's your last name? I don't know. Let me go check.
Look, what was we saying before the show? Andy Dalton said, "Achoo! Hey, I got COVID symptoms.
I got the Rona.
Got COVID symptoms."
He looked over there, saw Steele, and then he goes, "Wait, TJ? No,
no. What did he do, James? No.
He said, TJ Watt, Terence Steele, COVID.
No, TJ Watt said, "You want some, punk?" Nope. I'm out.
No.
Nope. He said, "I'm just gonna go cruise into the bye week with 2-3 weeks off, and I come out the bye week and I'll be ready. I'll be good to go.
That's good.
I'll be good to go.
Hey, I'm back.
I'll be good to go. You know what he's saying, right? I ain't gonna say no why here, but when he leave, I'm gonna talk shit. Talk shit again. Yeah. All right, man. Make sure y'all follow Patrick Kahn, man, at Pat Sports Guy on Twitter. Where else can they find your work at? Tell them again, brother.
WFAA, and then LonghornsWire.usatoday.com. And every Friday, me and Ari Temkin from the Cowboys Network, we do the Cowboys Beat podcast, dropping every Friday morning.
The comments. All right, man. That's it, bro. We're going to head on up out of it. Now I will officially drop the music. Shout out to everybody in the chat, to my guys. Appreciate y'all rocking out with us each and every Tuesday. The late night hype, man. The best Cowboys place to be on the late night. Have some fun, get some knowledge, and walk away a smarter fan, or at least have some fun on the way out. Appreciate y'all. Enjoy your week. Peace. Oh, y'all.